Hello and welcome to The Dark Roast. I'm Donna Stroll and I'm here with the always lovely and talented Rose Short. And today's topic is about the whole random marketing and how to not do that. More about building a cohesive strategy that converts. So, one of the biggest reasons that affiliate and online marketers do struggle is they struggle to grow because, you're busy running around, you're not really building marketing systems. You're collecting tactics, which is pretty common, right? We all, we grab a bit from here and a bit from there. You post, you test, you promote something else next week or whatever, and hope that somehow it all comes together. But piecemeal effort is not really the same as progress. Like just because you're adding more things doesn't necessarily mean that you're making progress. You might just be making more work for yourself. So if your marketing doesn't have cohesion, your audience is going to feel confusion about what you do and who you are and what you're not. And so today's goal is to try and help get that a little bit more cohesive for you and get things more strategized.
Yeah, a lot of marketers when they're first starting out, especially, they're working super, super hard, but the work is really fragmented, right? Like one platform says one thing, their email says another, their color schemes aren't the same across all platforms, the signature is not the same, maybe the bio is not even the same. So offers can feel disconnected from the content that came before it. This tends to create friction and distrust with not only your current audience, but also new audience who might be wanting to follow you, but doesn't quite understand what you do. If people don't know what you stand for, what problem you solve, or why they should trust you, they're just not going to, right? Like if they look at your stuff and they're like, I don't understand, like, oh, there's a link here, and they click the link and they're like, okay, but they're talking about wellness. Why is this link about, pyramid schemes? It's going to be very, very confusing. It doesn't mean that you can't market multiple themes. It just means that you have to be strategic. And again, your content has to be cohesive.
Yeah. And I mean, especially right now, because let's be honest, the further we go, the more we have to be like, trust becomes a bigger and bigger importance in thing. We don't just trust people right off the bat anymore. We don't just trust that you're an authority, especially with things like AI slop and all of that stuff where you have to verify everything. Your goal is to be trusted. That's super important. And if you're scattered, and that's not to say that you can't have a lot of things, like you said, it's not that you can't have multiple offers, but that thread has to be there and it has to be easy to follow. So, I mean, cohesion in your marketing is basically all your pieces support each other in some way. Your content leads naturally to your offer or your offers. Your offer matches what your audience's actual pain points are. You're not giving them one pain point and then providing something that doesn't really match that process. Your social posts, your emails, your videos, they all sound like they came from the same person. And that doesn't mean that you're cookie cutter and you're putting the same thing on all your platforms, because I think sometimes that's what we think that means. Cohesion means I have to be exactly the same across all. And that's not necessarily the way it means. It just means that if they see you on Facebook, and then they see you on TikTok, that your same personality is coming through, the same things that you're offering comes through. It doesn't mean that you're providing the exact same content on all of them. Now, you can. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, with us, we do the shorts and we post them everywhere, and that's consistency. But how you communicate and bring those things in and how you engage can be different. It's just you're trying to maintain that similarity across the board so that everybody knows, and that's really, it's about reinforcing the same values and the same propositions across multiple platforms, not necessarily just the same words exact for exact.
Yeah, love it. And it's particularly important for marketers who are smaller and first starting out, right? So like our whole goal is to help with clearing up the confusion that a lot of first time or starting out marketers get, because if they hear different viewpoints and they get really excited and they get a bunch of different ideas in their brain. So why is it super important for this when you're first starting out? It's because bigger brands can sometimes survive with messy systems because they have the budget, they have the team, they have the brand recognition. They can easily recover from a mistake or a bad choice, right? So like Ring is a perfect example, right? They had that Super Bowl commercial where it was like, oh, we can help find a lost dog. And then everyone was like, that also means you can spy on me though. And so a bunch of people started to abandon Ring and they had to go back and like, no, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna partner with who we said we're gonna partner with. You're right, that's a problem. So they were able to recover from that pretty well. But if you were a startup company, you're probably not going to recover well at all because, your first big feed was this sketchy feed and now you're saying you're not going to do it, but like there's no trust there, there's no history there. That company's going to die, right? So This is why you need every post, email, piece of content, short video, long video, anything to do more work. But also in doing more work to be more consistent and be more forthright. The fewer random experiments you run and the more intentional messaging you set and the more forethought you're putting into what you're producing and what it actually solves, the better. And it is one of the cheapest growth strategies that you can use to build.
Yeah, which is fantastic. And it's not that difficult to build it, really. First, you're going to start by choosing your audience. We always say that. You want to make sure who you're serving is the right person for you, and who are you serving right now? You need to know that, because I know that especially when you're first starting out, you want to cast that net so wide, right? You're like, I need to catch all the fish, and it's like, no, you can cast the biggest net, but if you don't know what you're trying to collect or what you're trying, who you're trying to gather up, you're not going to be able to serve them properly. And then you got to decide what single problem it is that you help solve best. And it may not be what you originally thought it was going to be. As you're going through your education, as you're going through your process, you may find you're really good at this when you thought it was going to be that. Or maybe you're good at a piece of whatever the bigger picture is. Focus on that first. And then after that, you're going to build your content around 3 to 5 recurring themes. That support that problem. You don't have to have everything solved, right? 3 to 5 is more than enough to give people some variety, but also to be very clear in what your purpose, your goal, and your product is about. And each piece of content should move the listener or the reader, because we do say it doesn't matter. It's not just video that we're talking about here. A step closer to understanding what it is that you offer. That's why having sort of like a mini series of that 3 to 5 is great, because you can have 3 to 5 different styles of what you're putting out there, but they're all leading back to the same place. You're helping people grow and get to where you want them to be. And then if you promote affiliate products, make sure they fit in that journey, right? Instead of introducing something new or unrelated just because it's cool, that doesn't really work. You want to make sure that anything that you promise or that you deliver fits within that goal of where you're trying to get them, and the problems that you're trying to solve or that pain point that you're trying to alleviate. And that's pretty straightforward, right? That's not a really difficult process. So
no, but it just requires a lot of who is my client and what problem do I solve for them? It covers, that's where that forethought comes into play, and really taking the time to sit down and map that all out. So if you're a beginning affiliate marketer, your message, and especially if you're in the MMO niche, your message might be, I help you stop guessing and build a simple content system that turns attention into clicks, right? Very straightforward, tells you what problem I'm going to solve. Doesn't necessarily tell you who I am, but it infers that I've been where you're at, right? And I'm going to help you out from there. And then your content themes should be niche selected, around things like how to get your niche, how to content plan, how to convert, how to offer your alignment, a little bit of SEO, calls to action, things like that. And then your affiliate tools, your lead magnets, your calls to actions, these should all support that same path. right? And that's kind of really what we talk about when we mean cohesion. So it makes marketing feel like a guided process instead of scattered tips, list of tips and tricks and things like that. But it's also going to help you be way more successful and not burn out as quickly because it's your clear path, right? It's your GPS essentially, right? You wouldn't get on the road to a place you've never been without a map or, in today's world, a GPS. So why are you treating your marketing the same way? You really shouldn't. You should have that roadmap, have your goals, but also have your path to get there.
Yeah, and I mean, you make your path loose enough, like you know where your stop points are, so that if you want to stop and see the big ball of twine, you can. But it's not about removing all ability for flexibility or just deviations here and there. But when you've got that general guide of where you're going, it makes it a lot easier to hit the next step, to hit the next step, to hit the next step, without like, why have I been on this road for like 3 days and I've only moved 10 miles? Like that's the big thing, because it can get very overwhelming, especially at the beginning. And it doesn't matter what niche you pick. I mean, we said MMO here, but if you're in the health, if you're somebody who's found a vitamin or a skincare supplement that has been amazing for you and changed your life, put your focus on that. Same rules apply. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's just, get that focus and then build your map according to that. And then you can add in things as you grow, but just making sure that they somehow tie in so that when you do add that new thing, people are like, what the heck? Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you see it a lot with fitness brands that their main thing is fitness, but then they start also talking about like supplements, or they get sponsored by protein companies and things like that, right? It all still fits in. And that doesn't mean you have to be an affiliate for every single protein company out there, right? It should definitely be one you believe in. But that those stacks start to come as you get your message out. So it's not, don't wait to have 30 affiliate links to start. Just start.
Yeah, exactly. And starting is always the hardest part. It's always, because it's very overwhelming. I mean, and there are some common mistakes that people make. We all have made them. I don't think there's a single marketer out there, or even a business owner, a brick and mortar, who hasn't done it. It's trying to be number one is trying to be everywhere with everything, like you see it all the time. And I think it's one of those things like with like TikTok or Amazon, where you're doing like all the different things. You have a million links, and it's like you've got kitchen stuff, and you've got house stuff, and you've got kids stuff, and it's like, that's fine. But the reality is you're probably better to curate a group of products that really complement each other. Like if you're doing home, housewares, go into the design aspect of it. Or if you're doing health, or fitness, there's all sorts of different things that you can affiliate for that and pile them into, like, have all of your products into one thing. So even when you're doing something like Amazon, Amazon affiliates, try to curate so that you're building a group that makes sense, that's cohesive, and people understand who you are, what you're promoting. It makes a lot more sense. Another is promoting products because they pay well, and not because they fit your audience. Everybody wants that big paycheck. And so we think, and you get told a lot, well, selling a big ticket is just as hard as selling a small ticket, so why wouldn't you just go big? That's not true. I mean, unless you're really good at sales. But I mean, yes, you put in a lot of effort for either one of those sales, but honestly, I mean, if you're going to do a big purchase, you're probably going to put more time into thinking about it before you do it. So, I mean, just going for the big ticket because it's going to give you more money isn't necessarily the best opportunity for you. You really have to look at your audience and decide if that fits for what you're trying to do and who you are and how you're capable of doing things. And then the third is changing your voice or your style or your promise depending on the platform. You can't be bubbly on Instagram and then super serious on YouTube, and then, be completely corporate in your blog and then off the hook on Facebook. Like you have to be consistent in your voice. You can be more casual in some and more formal in others, but it still needs to sound like it's you and not like you have 5 different personalities, because which one do they follow? You know, because when people see inconsistency, they will hesitate. And hesitation is what kills your conversion. Because if people are stopping to go, that's usually when they're like, I don't need that click.
For sure. And that's really kind of it. I mean, that's the bread and butter of it, right? Like, it's not like most things we share, it's not super complicated, but it is easy to overcomplicate. It's really easy to overthink and get lost and get really, really overwhelmed, which ironically is something we're going to be talking about a little bit later.
Yep, that's true. So, I mean, really, if you want better results, you're not just going to do more marketing, right? You're not going to just throw more stuff at the wall. You want to do more connected marketing. You want to build that message for that one audience. You can always expand your audience as you grow, but choose your audience first, make sure it's the right one, and then do a clear path forward. When your efforts start working together, then your marketing becomes easier to manage, like you said, you know, because you've already got the goal in mind, and you're not feeling like you're just throwing everything at the wall. So very simple, very straightforward, nothing too much to have to deal with there. I think that is actually it for today. So have a great weekend, folks. Bye. That's it from us. If this episode helped you,
or at least entertained you,
go ahead and like, subscribe, and share.
We'll catch you next time.